Local AI agents are getting a massive boost with a new model from NVIDIA that runs right on your laptop. Meanwhile, a 2-month-old startup just pulled in over $1 billion to help you train and own your AI models, not just rent them from an API. We'll also dive into Spotify's new rules for AI generated music and what it all means for builders right now. No BS AI briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Alright, let's dive into some high signal items this week. First up, NVIDIA just dropped Nemotron 3.5 Lightning, a new open model designed specifically for fast local AI agent tasks. This isn't just another language model, it's a 30 billion parameter mixture of experts or MOE model that NVIDIA built for efficiency. They also introduced Nemo Switchyard, which is an open source routing library to help you orchestrate these specialized agents. So, what's the big deal here? Well, for builders, this means you can start developing always on, privacy preserving AI agents that run directly on consumer hardware. Think laptops, edge devices, without needing constant cloud connectivity. This model is engineered for speed, delivering 4 times faster token generation and about 30% faster time to completion compared to prior models. And because it's open weights, you get the flexibility to fine tune it with your own proprietary data, giving you a real competitive edge and avoiding vendor lock in. Next, we've got some massive funding news. River AI just raised an astonishing $1.1 billion in a seed and Series A round, led by General Catalyst and AMPBC. They've also got big names like NVIDIA, AMD Ventures, Y Combinator, and Temasek in the mix. River AI's pitch is compelling. They offer an API that lets enterprises train custom agents using reinforcement learning and LoRa fine-tuning on open models, and they claim you can do it in just 15 to 20 minutes. Think about that for a second. Why does this matter for you, the builder? It's a fundamental shift away from just prompt engineering on someone else's model to actual model. Ownership. River AI is positioning this as a way to get 2 to 4 times cost savings compared to closed source alternatives, framing these custom agents as personal, always on guardian angels for your business. It's a huge bet on the future of AI. Also, on the infrastructure front, IBM and Together AI have announced a $240 million multi-year partnership to really scale open source AI inference. This is a big deal. They're deploying a large-scale inference cluster on IBM Cloud, leveraging NVIDIA's HGX B300 systems and their Spectrum-X networking. This whole setup is expected to launch in the first quarter of 2027. Now, why should this grab your attention? This partnership is designed to provide enterprise-grade scalable inference for open source models, promising improved token economics for anyone running serious AI workloads. It's about reducing lock-in to proprietary APIs and giving you more control over your compute. And honestly, it signals IBM's strategic bet on open source AI becoming the default choice for production environments, which could reshape a lot of how we think about cloud infrastructure for AI. Shifting gears to content, Spotify is making some big moves regarding AI generated artists. They're going to start labeling AI generated artist identities as AI persona starting mid September 2026. What's more, they'll be excluding music from these labeled profiles from editorial, algorithmic, and personalized recommendations by default. Builders can self disclose via Spotify for artists starting now. So, if you're building in the generative audio or voice space, this is a huge policy change. It establishes a platform level moderation strategy for AI generated identities, directly impacting how your generative audio products might get discovered. This also shifts some of the compliance and content policy burden squarely onto the platforms themselves, but it certainly complicates the path to discovery for new AI powered music creations. Finally, a quick but significant organizational update. Target just appointed its very first Chief AI Officer. Chandu Nair will be taking on that role, and Purvi Shah has been promoted to Senior Vice President of UX with a clear mandate to drive enterprise-wide AI integration. For product leaders, this is a strong signal. It elevates AI to a core business function with C suite ownership, emphasizing a collaborative approach across AI, product, data, and user experience teams. It highlights the growing importance of not just having AI, but having a clear human centered strategy for implementing trustworthy AI capabilities across a massive retail operation. It's an organizational blueprint we'll likely see more companies adopt. Now, out of all those stories, the one that really jumps out at me as a builder and potentially game changing for everyone from founders to engineering leaders is River AI's massive $1.1 billion funding round and what it signifies for model ownership. Let's quickly recap what happened. River AI, a company that's only 2 months old, just secured this colossal funding for their platform. Their core offering is an API that enables enterprises to rapidly train custom AI agents using reinforcement learning and LoRa fine tuning on open models, claiming they can do this in just 15 to 20 minutes. That's incredibly fast, if true. So, why does this matter right now? Well, for the last couple of years, many of us have been building on top of large proprietary models via APIs. Think OpenAI, Anthropic, Google. We're essentially renting intelligence. River AI is making a strong bet that the future isn't just about clever prompt engineering for someone else's model, but about owning your own specialized models. This shift could profoundly impact product architecture, data privacy, and crucially, your long term operating economics. If you can train a highly specialized model for your domain in minutes and then run it at a fraction of the cost, that changes everything from your P&L to your competitive moat. It's about moving from a general purpose AI brain to a highly specialized domain expert brain that's uniquely yours. So, who should really care about this? Founders and indie hackers. This could open up a new avenue for creating deeply integrated, highly differentiated AI features without the ongoing, often unpredictable costs of general purpose APIs. Imagine building a niche product where the AI understands your users and their data perfectly because it's your fine tuned model. It gives you a much stronger intellectual property position. Product managers. This is about unlocking new product capabilities. Instead of generic AI responses, you can design features around a model that truly understands your product's specific data, language, and workflows. This means better user experiences and the ability to build features that larger, generalized models simply can't replicate without extensive complex prompting. Engineering leaders. This points to a strategic shift in infrastructure and talent. Instead of just integrating third party APIs, you're now considering model training pipelines, serving infrastructure for your own models and the skills needed to manage that. It's a move towards greater control and potentially greater efficiency, but it also means taking on more responsibility for the AI stack itself. How I'd think about it as a builder from an Indian founder's perspective is like this. For a long time, if you wanted to build something that used AI, you were essentially buying ready made building blocks from a big supplier. They were good, but everyone had the same blocks. What River AI is proposing, along with NVIDIA's moves in local agents, is like getting access to the machinery to quickly manufacture your own specialized building blocks. You still need the raw materials, your data, but you get to design and own the final highly optimized component. This isn't just about cost, it's about competitive differentiation. If your AI is truly unique to your business, trained on your unique data, performing tasks no general model can do as efficiently, then you've built a defensible advantage. Think about it. Can your competitors just replicate that with a few prompts to a public API? Probably not. My no BS take on River AI and this trend. Look, 1.1 billion for a 2-month old company is eye popping. That's a huge amount of capital, which comes with significant execution risk. The claims of 15 to 20-minute training and 2 to 4x cost savings need to be rigorously validated in the real world, especially across diverse enterprise use cases. And while LoRa tuned open models are powerful, they might not always outperform the very best closed models on every single task. However, the underlying strategic shift towards greater model ownership, privacy, and cost control for open source AI is undeniable. This isn't just hype, it's a trend that savvy builders should be watching very closely and experimenting with. The ability to fine tune and own your intelligence layer could be a major unlock for proprietary products. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. Question: ask your team, how would our product change if new AI capabilities, specifically highly customized domain specific models, became free and reliable? Archer says, here's how to try this in under 60 minutes. Concept 1. Gather your key product and engineering leads. Frame the question exactly as I just said it. 2. List your top 3-5 API dependent features or workflows. These are the areas where you currently rely on a third party LLM, perhaps paying per token, or where you've compromised on specificity because fine tuning felt too complex or expensive. 3. Brainstorm. For each of those features, imagine you could swap out the generic model for a highly specialized proprietary one trained on your exact data at near zero marginal cost. How would the user experience improve? What new capabilities could you unlock? What hard problems could you solve that were previously impossible? Estimate the potential cost savings if these models were extremely cheap to run. 4. Identify new moats. Where could this proprietary fine tuning give you a true competitive advantage that's hard for others to copy? Look for areas where your unique data creates unique intelligence. This specific experiment is worth your time right now because the landscape is rapidly shifting. Companies like River AI and advancements from NVIDIA are pushing us towards a world where custom intelligence isn't just for the hyperscalers. Understanding this potential shift now and identifying where it impacts your product strategy can help you prepare for a future where deeply embedded, domain tuned AI agents are not just an aspiration but a practical reality. It's about proactive strategic thinking, not just reactive feature building. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.